You know, in any workplace, there are the dangers you can see coming, the obvious stuff. But what about the dangers you can't see? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible risks of workplace chemicals and really dig into what it means to master chemical safety.
So, let me ask you something. What's the most dangerous part of your job? Seriously, take a second and think about it. Is it the big machinery? The long hours? The constant pressure? The answer? Well, it might not be what you think.
Yeah, you might be surprised to hear that it's probably something you can't even see. More often than not, the biggest risks are the chemicals you're around every single day. And the scary part? Their effects aren't always immediate, which makes them dangerously deceptive.
And listen to this. This is a pretty sobering thought, right? It just goes to show that our understanding of what's safe is always changing. What we thought was harmless yesterday could be identified as a major threat tomorrow.
So here's the deal. There are so many chemicals out there, and for a lot of them, we just don't know the long-term effects. That means the only, and I mean only, safe way to handle things is to treat every single chemical with care. Just assuming something's okay is a huge gamble that nobody can afford to take. That's why having a solid framework for managing these risks isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely essential.
Okay, so let's talk about that framework. Here in Malaysia, it all comes down to two key regulations, USECHH 2000 and Class 2013. You can think of these as the official rule books for keeping everyone safe around chemicals.
And you know what's great? These local rules aren't just made up out of thin air. They're lined up with a huge international standard called the Globally Harmonized System, or GHS for short. Basically, it's a way to make sure everyone around the world is speaking the same language when it comes to chemical safety. Super important for consistency.
All right, now this is really important to get right. Let's break down the difference between these two. Think of it like this. Class 2013 is all about the supply of the chemical. It makes sure that when a chemical shows up at your door, it's properly classified, packaged, and labeled. Then USECHH 2000 takes over. That's all about the use of the chemical once it's in your workplace. How do you handle it? How do you control exposure? How do you protect your team? So one is about the information you get, and the other is about the action you take.
Okay, so we've got these two big, kind of complex regulations. So what now? How do you actually turn all that legal text into something you can use on the ground? Well, this is where we shift from just talking about the problem to giving you a real solution. What you need is a playbook, a step-by-step guide to turn compliance into competence.
So let's look at the playbook. Day one is all about building that solid foundation. We're going to dive deep into Class 2013. We'll start with understanding how chemicals are classified. Then we'll cover all the packaging and labeling rules you need to know. And finally, we'll show you how to master the Safety Data Sheet, or SDS, which is, without a doubt, the most important document for communicating hazards. Then on day two, we take all that knowledge and put it into practice. This is where USECHH 2000 comes in. It's all about action. We'll walk you through how to properly assess health risks, how to implement the right exposure controls, like PPE, and how to set up monitoring for your team. And it all wraps up with proper record keeping, which is absolutely vital.
At the end of the day, all these regulations are really just words on a page. The real goal is to turn that knowledge into action. So let's talk about what you'll actually be able to do to make your workplace safer.
This is where it gets really powerful. You're not just learning theory, you're gaining real-world capabilities. You'll be able to walk onto your production floor and spot hazards you might have missed before. But more importantly, you'll know exactly what to do about them, the right corrective actions, the best preventative measures. You'll make sure PPE is being used correctly, not just handed out. These aren't just bullet points, they are life-saving skills.
And look, these skills, they create this amazing ripple effect. It all starts with what matters most, enhanced worker safety. When your people are safe, you naturally achieve legal compliance. That leads to proactive risk reduction, which means fewer incidents. And you know what that means for the business? Improved operational efficiency. It's a win-win for everyone.
So, this brings us to the big question. We've talked about the risks, we've laid out the playbook for managing them. Now it's about responsibility. Who is responsible for safety? Are you ready? The truth is, safety is everyone's job, but it has to be led by key people. So if you're a factory manager, an HSE officer, a supervisor, part of the Safety and Health Committee, or an engineer, this is for you. You're a critical link in that safety chain. For anyone in these roles, this isn't just good-to-know information, it's absolutely essential.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Your team's safety isn't just something that happens by chance. It's a choice. It's a series of choices you and your team make every single day. So the real question is, are you equipped to make the right one?